Joining us now is Montek Singh Ahluwalia, the Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission and architect of the big structural change in India's economy way back in 1991, and trying to do the same thing. Thanks very much, Montek, now for joining us. The latest development is the G8 becoming the G20. Has it actually replaced the G20, G20 replaced G8?
I think for international economic cooperation, it clearly has. That's what the communique says. The G8 has not been disbanded, but I think the expectation is that it will probably deal with their security-type concerns. But on all economic issues, it's going to be the G20.
You know, they used to say that G20 is G2 plus 18. Is it now G3 plus 17 with India involved?
Well, that, you know, nobody ever said it was one or the other, but it used to be, as you know, the G8 plus 5, and then they added another 3. And bringing 20 onto the same forum is a very important signal. Now, who's more important within the forum? I mean, ultimately, it depends on circumstances. I mean, at a particular time, the focus may be on one country. But within it, there's absolutely no question that our economic importance will depend on the size of the economy. And right now, we are probably, in terms of PPP GDP, about fourth or something like that.
Now, you're going to lose all the viewers by saying PPP
yeah,
GDP.
PPP
That's
is, you know, it's like GDP, but adjusted for differences in purchasing power.
Right. Okay. So, it's a more realistic assessment.
Which is the more realistic assessment. You know, projections suggest that if we keep growing at the rate that we have been growing, and which I think we should be growing, we will be the third largest GDP in the world in about 20 years' time.
So in 20 years, the
China will be number
one. China.
Number 2 will be the United States, and number 3 will be India. But this is total GDP. And neither China nor we will be the richest country in the world.
Coming to inflation, we know that inflation at the moment is roughly 0%, but food inflation up 9%. That is a bit of a failure of government policy. How are we tackling that now?
Well, it's true that food price inflation is in a worrying area. Part of the reason, quite honestly, is that over the last 2 or 3 years, in order to give a strong stimulus to agricultural production, a conscious effort was made to raise the procurement prices for both wheat and rice.
So you expect food inflation to come down now?
I would expect food inflation to gradually come down.
But so 6 months from now, what's your forecast of food price inflation? It's about 9% now, say in March next year.
Well, I would hope that by March next year, it should come down several percentage points. I wouldn't give a particular number. But let's say, you know, we've traditionally...
Under 5%?
That, I think, is difficult. Because, let's put it this way, the wholesale price index, as you pointed out, for the last several weeks, it's been negative. The inflation. And on NDTV, I've frequently been reassuring your viewers that you don't have to worry about deflation, because that's what all the questions were. Now it's gone marginally positive. I think if it ends the year with a comfort range, and the comfort range usually was about 5% or something like that.
Tubar.com